What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our NFL power rankings for week 15. And so far this year, we've had lots of craziness throughout the NFL. Lots of 7-6, 6-7 teams. Moving forward, I think there's 26 teams that are a game or two back for the playoffs. So it's been a really good year for NFL football. And before we get started, we are going to have to shout out Corn Doggy Drawings. We're going to put the link in the description below. We're using his drawings for our logos. Big thank you to him for doing these drawings. And if you like him, go sure to check out his website.
So let's get right into these power rankings. The Jags dropped 2 spots this week into the last spot because they lost the Titans 20-0. Really looking like the worst team, and they're kind of in some trouble right now with Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. Just not looking properly ran right now. For the Jaguars.
31st, we got the Texans, who played pretty bad, but they're not as bad as the Jaguars. And the two teams face off this week to see who will claim last place. It's going to be a pretty ugly game. So if you're, somehow a Texans or Jacksonville fan, I'm very sorry. But I don't think anybody else will be watching this game except those two franchises.
And at number 30, we got the Lions. Big loss to the Broncos last week. They're in the same situation as these teams, just the last tier of the NFL. But they do have the Cardinals this week, a chance to play some spoiler. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. Lions at home. You never know.
29th, you get the Jets, who I don't know what to say about last week's performance. It looks like they just didn't care. The Saints, they kept it interesting throughout the first half, but then the second half came and they just didn't show up. And now they're facing a divisional opponent, the Dolphins in Miami. I don't really expect them to contend in this game either, but, at least Zach Wilson's healthy and he can build on his disappointing rookie year so far.
At number 28, we got the Giants. Tough loss to the Chargers last week. They're kind of out of the playoffs at this point, being 4-9 and not looking any better on offense as they have been. They got the Cowboys this week, so it's going to be another loss, and they're kind of just building on for next year and hoping to get Saquon back into his.
27th, we got the Bears, who didn't lose by as much as the score says. I think the NFL rules coming from a Packers fan really screwed the Bears out of a potential overtime game. A muff punt, which the Bears recovered for a touchdown, but they only held them to a field goal after that. And the Packers didn't get the onside kick, but you can advance an onside kick. And the Bears scored a touchdown on that. So that's, 14 points right there. And it just happens to be they're down 15. So, they could have been an OT, going to an OT in this game. But the Bears, they played pretty well in the first half. They were right back and forth against the Packers, but the second half, they just didn't show up. And Green Bay did. And that's what caused them to lose this game. And now they can also play spoiler this week, going at home against Minnesota. I expect them to, keep it close, but it's just definitely going to see how Fields can perform towards the end of the game.
At number 26, we got the Panthers. Another loss to the Falcons last week. Their defense showed up, but their problems on offense made it so the Falcons just got free points, and you can't do that in NFL. So that's why they lost that game. This week they got the Bills. They're about to be 5-9 because the Bills really need this game. Panthers. Not much else to say about the Panthers. They're just kind of in a free fall right now.
25th, we got Seattle, and they're kind of in the same boat as the Panthers. Very disappointing year in Seattle. There was high expectations, coming into this year, especially with Russ and Pete Carroll and kind of when that relationship is going to end. And I don't know if they're going to be together next year. There's already the media is talking about, Russ is going to get traded, Pete Carroll's going to get fired just because one bad year. I guess, we're really going to have to see, because who knows what happens if the Seahawks win out? They could be a playoff team.
Yeah.
And, you got to start 1 week at a time. And this is a great week to, have that mentality against the Rams in their place. And if Seattle can win this game, they're going to start turning some heads and really think that, oh, they, might have a shot here. But right now, 25th, there's not really much to be proud of in Seattle. And I think that's why we got to put them there.
Yep. And at number 24, we got the Falcons. They're 6-7, kind of a surprising 6-7 team. You'd think they'd be a little bit worse, but they really have been playing 500 football this whole year. And they look to win 2 straight and hopefully get up to 500 and lock up or not necessarily lock up the 7th spot, but hold the 7th spot in the playoffs for right now against the 49ers. I don't think that they should make the playoffs. I think the Vikings are the best team out of those teams in the hunt, but they have been winning games, so you got to give them credit.
23rd, we got the Raiders, who, well, one, you just can't step on an opponent team's logo. I mean, as a Steelers fan, you know that. Juju, it just didn't go well for him. And, they were all like, we need to win here on the logo, and 48-9. Not really much to be said about this Raiders team. They started off really hot, and since September cooled off dramatically. And now they're going against a COVID depleted Browns team. So, they could squeak out a win, a much needed win. But that may be too much to ask from them.
And at number 22, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Kind of a big game this week against the Washington football team. They need that win to try to stay in this hunt for the wild card. Because if they end up losing this game and the Seahawks win, which you never know, then they're dropping back even farther down. Offensively, they do have like limitations, but I like the way Jalen Hurts has played this year. So pretty good on offense, pretty good on defense, but they just gotta win some games here coming down the stretch.
21st, we got the Saints, who, beat the Jets pretty good, but nothing really to be proud of because it's the Jets. And now we're going to see what you're made of. Going into Tampa on Sunday Night Football. And if you can win this game, you're pretty much a playoff team because it's going to be a playoff atmosphere in Tampa, because they're trying to, I believe, lock up the division this week if they can get this win. So, definitely a tall task ahead of them this week. But, if Kamara has a game like he normally does, and if Taysom Hill can do just enough, they may be able to pull off the upset.
Definitely. And our top 20, we got the Miami Dolphins. Last week they came off a bye, which was kind of a must-needed bye. Been playing really good football, but it's that time of the year where the guys need to get healthy. And they got healthy. They're getting healthy just at the right time. Tua's finally playing good. The whole offense is finally clicking. Jalen Waddle might be the rookie of the year. But this week they got the Jets, and I expect them to keep it going. They are the Jets, so they need a big win and blow them out, really.
19th, we got the Washington football team, who, the first half last week against Dallas was pretty disappointing for almost everybody involved. And they really just didn't play well. I know the score says they only lost by 7, but Dallas let them come back. Dak, I don't know what he was thinking on that pick. Literally just, here you go, touchdown right at the end of the game. So the score makes it look like it was a close game, but it really wasn't. And pretty much this game is the playoffs for Washington. You were talking about the Eagles, I'll talk about Washington, and whoever wins this game really has a legitimate chance to make the playoffs and even the division as well, if you can pull off a few wins here and there. But I think 19th is fair. This team's had its ups and downs this year, losing Chase Young, but then having a huge win streak until last week. And let's see if they can start another one this week.
And coming in number 18, we got my Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week was kind of a weird week. Thursday night football, short week, going to Minnesota, something that the Steelers don't normally do. So the first half was I kind of expected them to not play great in the first half, but I didn't expect them to get down 34-0 in the first half. but they did come back. They did fight. So I'm pretty happy about where the offense is at. I think Steelers could sneak in to the wild card at this point because I think their roster is just about the same as everyone else. But yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna say Chase Claypool needs to get cut. That's about it, though.
The whole receiving core, man. The Broncos coming in at 17th with a big blowout win in honor of Demaryius Thomas against the Lions this week. Celebrated his death and made it like a big thing for him, a tribute. And what better way to get him a win and celebrate with him on the logo at the end of the game. And let's see if they can ride that momentum. Ripped off a win here, pretty convincing win. And now you got a Bengals team who's in the same boat as you are, trying to get into the wild card. And at home, you got that advantage in the Mile High. And if they can pull off this win here, and the Chiefs lose this week to the Chargers, that division once again is right up for grabs and anyone could have it. So you just got to keep winning if you're Broncos and see where that takes you.
Yep, and that Broncos-Bengals game is going to be a really good game. Coming in at number 16, we got the Vikings. I talked about this for the most part, except for Dalvin Cook went off. That's a really good sign. They are going to need Dalvin Cook to play like that the rest of the year in order to make a run in the playoffs. But they got the Bears next week. I think they are going to continue it, and I think they're going to win this game and keep fighting for that playoff spot.
At 15th, we got the COVID-depleted Browns, who just announced today Baker and their head coach Kevin Stefanski are on the list. Unsure if they'll be able to play on Saturday as of right now, but it's not looking good. But you and me were talking. I think they're still going to be able to win this game because Nick Chubb's probably going to go for 200, 3 TDs, and they'll squeak out a really ugly win. But if they can win this game, I think that they're almost a lock for the playoffs, especially at 8-6 with 3 weeks to go. Unless they, lose their last 3. But his Browns team has looked pretty terrible this year, and they're still at 7-6 with a winning record. I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting to see this team and how they perform down the stretch.
At number 14, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Lost 2 straight, I believe. I believe so. Coming back down to 7-6. But they have had a much tougher schedule as of late. And it's going to continue, like you said, with the Broncos. They're a playoff team. They got one of those stacked rosters, other than quarterback. But every team's got a flaw, and I think this game against the Broncos this week is going to be a really good one. I'm pretty excited for this one.
13th, we've got the Colts coming off a bye, and they got New England at home on Saturday. And put up or shut up. That's all you can really say about this Colts team this week. Because if you can beat the Patriots, who are scorching hot right now, you're going to earn some respect and even some top 10 consideration for next week. Definitely. And it's all going to come down to Carson Wentz. So we know Jonathan Taylor, how he is, and potential MVP this year. And their defense with Darius Leonard, Xavier Rhodes, and so on, they're really good. At the end of the day, you got to be able to throw against New England, and that's what wins you games. And Carson Wentz can have a fairly decent game. I think they can pull it off here, and send the Patriots not to the Super Bowl favorites anymore.
At number 12, we got the Ravens. A couple of tough losses again in a row for the Ravens, losing to my Steelers and then to the Browns. But they did not have Lamar. So that does hurt, and hopefully he gets back, because if not, without Lamar, the Ravens don't really have much of a shot at winning the division come the end of the year. So if they do have Lamar, though, I see him winning the division without a problem.
Coming in at 11th, we got the Bills. Tough overtime loss last week in Tampa. It was a great game, but unfortunately someone had to lose, and it was the Bills. And now they're going to look to see how they can rebound, because if they don't win this game against the Panthers, Buffalo is on their way out of the playoffs. That's for sure. And I don't think that they're going to lose this game, but don't be too shocked if they do, because they have not looked like a great team this year, as we were all thinking they would be. We still think highly of them at 11th, but if they lose this game, I think they're dropping a ton. And we're going to have to see how they perform this week with Josh Allen.
And just getting to our top 10, we got the San Francisco 49ers. Good win against the Bengals. It looks like they're finally clicking. And like I said at the beginning of the year, I had the Niners winning this division. So I think that coming down the stretch, it's huge to just keep winning games against the teams that you should beat. And I think that's what they're going to continue to do. And I like them here at 10.
At 9, we got the Chargers moving up 1 with a very convincing win against the Giants last week, even without Keenan Allen due to COVID. And now you got Thursday night football against, the leader in the AFC and the division leader as well, against the Chiefs. And you win this game, I believe they would take over the AFC West, and it'd be the Chargers run through LA. It's going to be interesting to see if they can pull it off here, because we know Herbert's having a great year. And I don't know, it definitely might be the best Thursday night matchup we've had in a long time. So make sure you got to watch that game and come back to see next week where these teams will rank.
And at number 8, we have the Tennessee Titans. Good win against the Jags this week. They got the Steelers. With Derrick Henry, if he's coming back, we don't know much about him, but if Derrick Henry's coming back, they're definitely going to be a playoff team. Well, they're definitely going to be a team that can go deep into the playoffs, is what I should say, because they're already a playoff team. They just have that system where it doesn't really matter who their players are on offense. They're gonna move it a little bit, and they're gonna play good defense. So that's what they're gonna keep doing, even without Derrick Henry for a minute.
7th, we get the Cowboys, and we're moving them down here because, that win was a very ugly win. I know it's a divisional opponent, and they mean more, obviously, in the regular season. But you were up that much, and then all of a sudden just collapsed come the fourth quarter. And once again, the problem isn't Dak, it's the run game. If they can't run, Dak's the best quarterback of all time in play action, it seems like. And that's how, he makes his money. But when you don't have a good run game, Dak's pretty much out there trying to do it for himself and trying to do too much. And I think that's what he's doing right now. Luckily enough, the Cowboys are 9-4 thanks to their hot start. They hit a little bump in the road there, losing 3 out of their last 5 before this game. And I think they can get back on track, rattle a few wins together and potentially be a top seed in the NFC and maybe get a bye, depending on how all the other teams are going to beat each other up with the Cowboys' easy schedule for the rest of the year.
And at 6, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Like you said, you can't be dancing on other teams' logos, especially the Chiefs. And it didn't really make sense because they haven't beat them in 4 years, and then they do that, and then it's 45-0. So it's kind of funny, but the Chiefs have finally looked like they're back. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I will definitely see after this week, after this Chargers game, but I would say they're back for sure, and they could win the Super Bowl again.
At 5, we got the Rams with a very convincing and head-turning win against the Cardinals in their own place. And I think this Rams team is slowly becoming one of the favorite Super Bowl contenders to root for. With Stafford, playing really well. The whole running back situation is just, who knows what's going on there with Henderson getting COVID, hurt. But Sony Michel has really stepped up, and that preseason trade, is really panning out right now. People thought, he's really not going to do too much. Well, down the stretch, he's kind of been the workhorse and kept this team together. And obviously you have Odell and Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp, who obviously are having these huge years. Now that especially Odell's in LA, he's having his best year, it looks like, in a while. And you can't go wrong with this defense with Von Miller and Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. And I'd be scared if I'm Seattle right now, going against this red-hot Rams team, especially coming off that big win, and it's a home game. I really don't see how the Rams can lose this game. But, it's the NFL this year, and crazy things have happened already. So don't be too surprised if it does happen.
At number 4, we have the New England Patriots. Like you said, it is really put up or shut up time for the Colts. I think the Patriots will end up winning this game because they just seem like they're the better coach team. They don't make mistakes. They play really good defense. They do everything it takes to be a really good football team, and that's really what it's shown from Bill Belichick last year or this year to really prove that last year was just they needed a year. They needed to get a year. So yeah, I think the Patriots are really good this year. Obviously, playing the best defense out of anybody in the league, and I think they should beat the Colts this week.
Coming in at 3rd, we got the Arizona Cardinals. So we were just talking. Well, I was just talking about losing to the Rams, and those 3 losses have all been home losses in a row. And now they're going to Detroit, so that's a guaranteed win because 1, they're on the road, and 2, it's against the Lions. So if the Cardinals can figure out how to win at home, this playoff push may run through Arizona. I think if you're in Arizona right now, you're kind of worried about. I wouldn't want to go play Tom in his place in Tampa, and I wouldn't want to go play Green Bay and Lambeau and Aaron Rodgers and the Colts.
Exactly.
So you got to really win out here for the Cardinals for best shot, best case scenario to play at home throughout the playoffs.
Same type of situation for the Bucks. 10-3, same record. They're going to be playing the Saints this week. I think they should win this one. How they've been all year. They're finally getting to that. Tom Brady doesn't throw the ball as much. They really get that run game going, get Gronk involved. And that's really when the Bucks have been playing their best football throughout, their 8-game winning streak last year, win a Super Bowl. And they're on that type of run again. I could definitely see that type of thing happening. But like you said, same thing with the Cardinals. The Bucks aren't going to want to go to Green Bay. They'd rather be playing in Tampa. So these are all crucial games, and they're going to need to keep winning football games.
And at 1, again, we got my Packers. Not too proud of the 15-point blowout, but, a win's a win. And the special teams needs to step it up for Green Bay. I mean, that's the only takeaway from this game, giving up an onside kick that they took to the house but didn't count, and a muff punt that they also took to the house and it didn't count. So, if those NFL rule changes are a little different, this could be a different ending. I mean, maybe they still win in a 1 to 2 point game, or they lose in overtime. But to their credit, they still pulled through and managed to win. I mean, the defense held them to 3 points in the second half after giving up 24 in the second quarter alone. So they made some great halftime adjustments where the Bears did not, and the Packers, rattled off some more points in the second half. And now you're going into Baltimore, a huge game just for the Packers and for Baltimore. If Lamar plays, this is going to be a great game and potentially game of the week. But if he doesn't play, I mean, I don't really see the Packers struggling here. But definitely the whole toe situation, Aaron Rodgers is something to monitor. But I've seen him playing through it, and I don't think it's something too big to worry about.
Right. Yeah. I think the Packers are definitely the best team in football right now. If I had to pick a Super Bowl favorite, it'd be the Packers just because they can win in all different types of situations. They can be down and come back. They could play with a lead. They can run the ball, pass the ball. So yeah, they can do everything. That's it for our power rankings though. So stay tuned for our picks this week. Those should be dropping. It's a big matchup now. The $20 is coming. It's getting interesting. But if you guys enjoyed, what was that?
I said it's getting heated.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video though, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Bench Buddies are out. Peace.
She never called back.